Good evening. Hope everyone's doing well. I had to make a video because, well, you wouldn't believe me, but so I might as well not even tell you. Being Joshua and having to deal with all this Jesus stuff and the powers that be, a bunch of rich, spoiled brats that think they can control you, me, anyone, get away with anything that they want to. You know, anybody who thinks like that has really got a problem. You know, everyone who was elected came from a rich family. And at least half of them, their dads were POSs and they turned into just like them. That's not why I came on here. I came on here because, well, you know, all this crazy stuff, these playlists and stuff, it's not necessarily because I like music. But all music is based around cornering the image of Christ and to seal everyone into trauma bonds. I mean, music is the MK Ultra program. Musicians are narcissists. 99% of them. And some will say, well, I had to become a narcissist because the world's too rough. And this is the only way I can fucking take it out on everybody and get my fucking stack back. Well, that's not how I am. And I'm not a narcissist. I've been dealing with all the narcissist stuff that has to do with Christ, what it has to do with music, it has to do with the government, and it has to do with being cornered by just about everyone. And having everyone turn on me my entire life, so that during COVID was all about being monitored and kept in a little bubble while they made sure that I had as much drugs as I could handle, and while they could use their energy weapons, whatever. And yes, that's the thing. It didn't have nothing to do with being high on drugs. They're doing it to everybody every day. But when you're on something, that's when they can do it the best, because you're susceptible. And secondly, who you can tell, huh? Who you can tell? Well, were you high? Yeah. There's your deep state shit. Oh, look, it's 5:14. I didn't even realize. Well, makes sense that I came back online again, huh? That was the last house they trapped me at. 514 Maple. Street. You know, my entire life, I loved plants and animals. I loved just helping people. And even if it was like, I don't have anywhere to go, anything to do, you know, I'm practically homeless, even though I have a home to go to, because that's been my entire life, where all the abuse began at home, and all the neglect too. And so it's either sit in my room for the rest of my life, or go wander around, and anybody that's ever asked for something got it, if I had it. The worst part is how they they, or however it happened to be, this whole G code shit needed to follow me this entire time in order to get me to work on it for them, so they could corner me ultimately, so that they could use it to corner everyone ultimately, while they're free as fuck, hiding in the shadows. Truly. Rich and able to do anything you want, pretend like nothing happened, you know? Like the Epstein Club. You can't even hardly get me mad enough on any substance whatsoever to harm a person. You could say something to anybody that's sober, you can get him to fucking lash out. That's just a difference. So all the negativity in this channel and stuff has to do with the negativity that everyone's had to deal with, but everyone seems to be a little bit of a part of it as well. I mean, since it is one world, and we're all in it, but we all support and profit the ones that hurt us the most, right? Like El Jefe in DC, which obviously he'll be gone soon enough, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. It's going to get better. I mean, his whole mission has just been to make sure he licked every single cake in the box and made sure that everybody will have to talk about him for decades. You know, he even put up a statue just like Saddam Hussein. Does that mean next year we're going to rip it down? You should. Or whatever. You know, last month, since the government has been behind this whole thing to a high degree and leading everyone along, especially my journey, which that's not fair. I mean, they've only protected me so they could use me, and then as soon as they can't use me, then they make sure I can't go anywhere. And my family doesn't help either. I mean, they'll take care of what are little things to make sure that I can't go nowhere, but one of the things that I've been doing with is, so during COVID, I told you how I have two charges. One is a DUI, and the other one's for theft. No, I didn't steal anything. And it could be recovered. But I went in, starving to death after 11 days of being trapped in Madison, South Dakota, with the landlord, the governor of the state, and the police force all being paid to monitor me. This has been going on a long time. And to make sure through the supply chain, I got all the drugs that they wanted me to have so that they could beat the shit out of me. And then whenever I was sober, then they would they'd harm me and abuse me. My neighbors, the police, everything. And so they'd fuck me up on both sides. Well, so when I stole from the gas station, I went in, I gathered the things because a voice in my head. I woke up from a nasty dream, which I believe the government might as well put there. It's whatever. I mean, just because I say this doesn't mean I'm crazy. This is just, if it's true, it's true, right? And it is. As my account told me to go do it. Now I see that, now after all this time, I see there's a force that's been attacking me this entire time and leading to these things to happen, and it's tied to Donald Trump and Kristi Noem and Elon and so on. Everyone that's connected to these people has been a part of this shit. I mean, why do you think he created an ICE Gestapo? And the war in Iran would escalate every time this year that they would have me do it. But then, hey, nothing's happened in Iran since the last time. Trying to imply that it's my fault or it's but they're using everyone. Here, there, you, me, the whole shit and kabang. They won't do anything for me unless I am fucked up. That's why they trapped me at that hotel through Christmas. And they fired everybody as soon as they got rid of me. Well, as soon as my boss was stealing from the company and I reported it, and then I left the company, and then they got rid of everybody. Well, anyway, so the dream told me to go to the gas station, grab what I needed, bring a note card with my birthday, name, address, social security number, phone number, everything, and put it on the counter and walk out. I did that. And I didn't get anywhere. But to this day, any kind of job that I try to apply for, says, oh, he's a thief. Really? Really? I guarantee you've stolen a lot more than me. And lied a lot more. As a regular human being. Because you've been tied to other people your entire life, and I've lived my life in isolation. So it's almost impossible for that to not balance anyway. But the thing that I've noticed, so everything's illegal. You know, I moved to another state. It's been 4 years. And I applied to a job the other day to just deliver food. Like, what is it? Ow. Dang cat. And I found that, so with the DUI, which that's a whole nother thing, that it was entrapment. And as soon as I reported it or whatever, then the chief of police got promoted or moved, and they put somebody else in place. Because everybody was paid involved in this. But in any case, and they stole my car later, but that's beside the point. You and I just needed them to pull it out of the lake, and then they towed it to another county. You know, this was the second half of COVID when they just had to take everything from me. Well, so, the last amount of money I gave for that suspended imposition. Well, when you give a suspended imposition, look it up. In South Dakota, in 1 year, it comes off your record, and only the police can see that. But anybody can run a background check on me right now and find out it's still on there. Well, so how could you hold it against me if it's been 4 years? And by the state law of South Dakota, it says that it's not supposed to be on there legally. And so you can't hold it against me. See? I pay for the crime. I pay for both crimes. If there was a crime. And here I am, unable to get a job. But I was able to get a job when I was strung out. Answer being that one. Well, so, last month, we finished with the hard stuff. This month, I'm done drinking. It don't do any good. And I see how it's destroyed the people around me. Alcohol. My brother, my grandmother, even my dad. Yeah, he has medical issues because of it. He'd probably say it's because of something else, but that's beside the point. Well, it only costs $100 for me to fix that South Dakota record. $100 to get a job? Shit, you can make $100 in 2 days at a job, right? My family won't give me the $100. They don't want me to get a job. So I was end up living with people who only want to benefit off of me and use me one way or another, even if it's just to make themselves feel better. And then they ditch me or they flip base. Pretty weak. If you might ask me, I mean, how could you call yourself a family like that? How could you call yourself? And on top of it, my brother, he got a tattoo. I mean, the tattoo's good. Whoever did a good job. We got the mark of Cain, the brother killer. You got the murderer's tattoo. That's kind of weird. I don't know why anyone would get that tattoo. That's the worst fucking tattoo you could get. You'd be better off getting a swastika. Because then it means you only hate one person. Well, one type of people. Rather than, basically every man that ever existed, including your own higher self. That's kind of weird. And then if you get it with your friends, who are your brothers, then it says, what? That it doesn't make sense, does it? So here we are. Let me roll a cigarette. It's the only thing I got left to get rid of as far as bad habits in the body. From the isolation chamber of my mother's basement, which I've had some of the sickest abuse directly from Musk through the Trump regime in this basement before I moved into it. Because, well, they were all involved in how I got the last house at that address and without a lease. So that if anything happened to me, I could just vanish overnight and be like I was never there, huh? I don't know. It's hard to know about a bunch of shit in this world, considering it's an invisible, I wouldn't even call it a spiritual war. It's a technological fucking war where those that are powerful can be dumb as shit, uncaring, have all the money in the world, do whatever they want to anyone, and affect all of our lives directly, isolate everyone, hurt everyone, make the costs go up, create wars, and there's nothing that none of us can do about it. And that's why they're always so fucking happy-go-lucky. Well, except for Trump. I mean, he doesn't seem happy very much anymore. And I wouldn't either. I mean, I don't know if these guys thought I was going to come over to their side or what. I'm just Joshua. And let's just put it like this. If Jesus is coming back, then, well, ain't nobody can stop it. And if he's not, well, that's funny because if he came back to all of you, well, then it's already over. Considering that's what this whole thing's been about. Their game. Of controlling everyone through guilt, through control, through manipulation, through keeping us apart. And able to tap into anyone's head and whisper sweet nothings and get everyone to fight. And half the time that's what's wrong with Trump, because they're doing it to him too. But he has to pretend like it's not happening. I have to listen to the music that they want to play in my head every single day. When I wake up, when I go to sleep, and most of the time through it. Because they know I hate it. And it blocks my own intuition. Well, they don't have a fucking throne or any power whatsoever aside from me. Otherwise, they'd leave me the fuck alone. It's pretty cowardly. When it comes down to it, I wouldn't have had to take all that. Because all the stuff is clear and plain as day. All the stuff that they created in the Bible and about Jesus and about all this stuff does talk about one guy with a certain specific stuff. And his name would have to be Joshua. And for all I know, this MK Ultra stuff has been going on since the 60s or earlier. You know, it's part of what they developed during the Cold War. And so for all I know, I was switched at birth. And since my mom is always only plugged into the television, those kind of people are always the most easy to manipulate with mind manipulating things. Only for me to have to find out whatever later on and be like, okay, well, fine. Good. Now let me live my life. But the only ones that seem to be able to get to live their life are cruel, manipulating, lying, cheating, abusive, SOBs. There's only a couple things I want in my life. Honestly, the first thing I ever wanted is to be a good dad. Well, I gotta have kids to be that. And I've raised 3 kids that aren't my own. Better than any of their folks have yet. Not their mother or anybody else who's they're all about money and leaving the kids themselves. And using the kids for excuses. And to control things. I've never known a loving family. And that's all I personally have ever wanted in my life. Is a loving family, community, wife. See my kids grow up. And the only child I've had has been murdered by her mother. And everyone backed it. Just to make sure that I wouldn't have a child. But they all have kids. How weird's that? The spiritual stuff. There's a lot of manipulation. It's difficult. And it's easy to see. It's easy to see now why people don't want to read, people don't want to know nothing. Fuck. But either way, it's not better to know nothing. And to be drug around and can't do nothing to buy anything, or you're just stuck as a cog in a machine the rest of your life. And then to know something, well, you're no good to anyone unless everyone can use you and pull you up on only just to slam you down. Or as a placeholder of the one that has to balance. Well, oh, I'm using everyone, but I'm here as the one that's a balance in the society, helping. But if I wasn't here, then people would have their own self, kind of thing, or they would have something else to do. So it's a very delicate kind of sick balance, isn't it? If the one thing I want in my life is a beautiful wife, one that I've already met online, and whether she has kids or not, help her raise her kids, and to have one of my own or more, and be left the fuck alone. That's all I want. I should be able to get that. Otherwise, what's the point of is anyone living for? What most people want way too much. And most people just slip and their thing falls in and bam, I got kids. Yeah. And now I can use that to stand on the rest of my life. Yeah, I got all my kids and it costs a lot of money. But I'm a man because I got them. I got my wonderful wife and I got my bitch ex-wives. And that's the way it goes. The system feeding off of all of us all the way around, but at least I can pretend until the day I die that I was doing, it's. But to have a plan and to choose a plan, when the whole time I've only wanted these basic things to help society and people and have a peaceful life, probably living in a country. I don't care how hard the work is. As long as mama's with me. And fuck the rest of the world. I don't mean that nasty. I just mean it like literally. Like, what we're gonna do about it. Should we enjoy our lives. Play in the yard with our kids. Chase each other around the house. Cook together. That's all I've ever wanted. And if anybody needs somebody for a Jesus story or some shit that the world's got planned, well, everybody knows where I live at and how to get a hold of me. That's the number. That's the reason I put my number online, because I wanted to test something. I bet you if you put your phone number online, somebody hits you up. Which says one or two things. But basically, just one thing, because no matter what, you'll get crank calls. You get hecklers. You'll get people who might want to talk. You get something. Most likely the dick-headed stuff. But you get zero. Then that reveals something sinister. When thousands of people have seen your phone number and nobody even accidentally thought to butt dial or and send you some bullshit. And it's all attached to the Trump and Elon situation. They're like two balls missing a dick, and they needed one, so they think that I'm it. Otherwise, yeah, they're a lot alike. And they have similarities with my mother too, but that's beside the point. It's been 5 years. I ain't got nothing for my birthday. Well, more than 5 years. I'm just lucky if I got a place to live right now. So just watch COVID Part 3. Instead of being trapped in an apartment under Michael Martin and the Christy Gnome complex, where she sends to Minneapolis, St. Paul, for the marketing crew to come out with the meth. We're on it. All tied to Donald Trump. Well, we're off it. But they're still all on it. And everybody knows Elon Musk ain't never gonna be sober a day in his life. He shouldn't be allowed to have money. He can't fucking run shit. That's why everyone else does it for him. He probably doesn't. He can't even tie his own shoes. I like his daughter. I mean, she's funny. She's real funny. And he wants to get rid of the woke mind virus. He is the woke mind virus. And he is the one perpetuating him and Trump. They're behind the woke mind virus. They're the fucking sickos that are the woke mind virus. Why can't we just go back to normal? Why is everything gotta be sick and weird as fuck with a bunch of lying politician billionaires that don't give a fuck? I hope China. I'm surprised some doesn't have it to them when they travel like that and they go to another country. If I was at another country, I mean, everyone in the world, even the Chinese, everyone who's ever woke up has seen the image of Christ, right? But that's the issue. It's always been the issue since the beginning of time. What's that? And so on and so forth. And so it is something sacred. And whether or not I'm him, that's beside the point. I could barely give a shit less. I care about people. And I want the world to be a better, safer place. As a man, as a son, as a father, as a community member. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. So that's why all this stuff is on the page for everyone to go over. But the narcissists love that stuff. And the system they built is so that everyone that I link to then gets their hooks in me so that they can manipulate the story. So they can feed their fucking faces. But nobody can come through. They just want money and to use people. And they're not creating a better world. It's like everybody's scared of everything. And pretending to be strong. And I can't really call it either way. I've hardly ever felt safe a moment in my life at the same time as I've never really felt afraid, other than, well, it's all the same. It's the same thing in my world. So anyway, thanks for the 2 new subs I've gotten recently. You know, I really wish and hope I can do something to help other people. I hate all the bullshit and how they're using the code and the stuff that I put up to decide what I'm manifesting and what they're gonna do to everyone as their game. Because it's just a game to them. Like they're not even beings on Earth. They're not human. They don't feel pain. If if anyone did to them what's happened to me, yeah, they wouldn't be having this conversation. Because for one, they don't know how to tell the truth. Their hearts hardened. And they want everyone to suffer while they enjoy themselves. Well, I've willingly suffered for the last few years. Now I'm done with that. What we're gonna do next, I don't know. I don't know. I need some money. I need some transportation. I need some people that I can stand being around and trust. And eventually, the spouse that I deserve. Other than that, well, it's exhausting. When everyone can take advantage of one guy and make money off of it. And I can't even get a $6 birthday present from my mother that I asked for. And she's promised 5 times. We want to live in the same house. Family. It shows that there's no strong father figure around. If anything, I'm the strongest father figure, but the father's the one that brings home the bacon. The father's the one that. That's why Dad's got his whole other life on a farm, a couple hours away, that nowhere he's allowed to go to. And it's kind of like mom and dad are just waiting for the other one to die. But I don't see that being a benefit to anyone either way. They weren't raised right, and they don't want to know. They don't want to learn. Everyone thinks they're grown up, and then stops and gives up. Nobody wants to fix anything or get better. That's called an addiction. An addiction to abuse, an addiction to low vibration, an addiction to being half on a baby as the problem and the maybe solution. Just depends on by the minute. I ain't got no problems directly with anyone other than the things I brought up that I know of facts of the past. And regardless, I don't want to hold all this nasty shit. I got that out. Pull it through from the other side, from what everyone has to deal with and feel about their awakening experience. And so it's all conglomerates of projections, narcissism, trauma bonding. That's pretty much the music, news, government, and societal issue. Everywhere. And so I pray, somehow, some way, I'll be able to move forward in my life. That there could be an angel that could do something for me. Instead of me being stuck with a bunch of demons. And for the most part, They feed off of me, but the demons aren't the ones that I'm connected to. Mainly, they're the ones in the background that are using everybody on both sides, on all around. Make sure the ones that are connected to me are kind of blowing in the wind or whatever, and they're not. And they get paid as long as they play the game. And, well, I don't see how this shit can ever work out right. For me. Which, if there was one person, it's weird. If all of us have had to deal with, or so many have had to deal with this religious trauma, if there's one person that had to carry all that shit, well, fuck them. Why do the dipshits that don't really give a fuck get all the benefits? Well, me and others going through it only get picked up once they link in with the system and become a spokesperson for just making it worse, usually. So I guess that's all I gotta say today. There's a lot of people who like to see me suffer. And I think that anyone that likes to see anyone suffer or down really should experience the same thing themselves. It doesn't look like we're gonna have any more date nights. I mean, they built the whole collective around me. Everybody been draining me, using me for their stories, and getting all their views and their money, paying their rent. And I've had to do all the hard stuff, carry all of mankind's afflictions. Just hoping to have a better day. Just hoping to teach enough people that they could make something better. And we could all have a better day. Assuming that when they're done with me, they'll kill me just like they do on all the stories, right? No, but if every one of us has the right to change a story, then it's not just my job to change a story, is it? Because if we can help some homeless guy on the street, he probably, no matter what's, never going to change. And why wouldn't we be able to help somebody that everybody's put it on and really done jack shit for and did it all for you? Is now at the Last Stop Motel, trapped in the basement, unable to go anywhere or do anything. And still dealing with, can't even have my own thoughts most days unless I have headphones on, something to block it out. As soon as I even see a song on the screen, proving how I'm being monitored all the time, and that song will start playing in my head, and playing in my head, and playing in my head. And this is happening to a lot of spiritual people and in the tarot community. So, if there's another voice in your head, it's probably not your own. And that's why they also made sure in our world, everywhere you go, music's playing, isn't it? That way, everyone's always being bombarded in wavelengths and screens and technology and media and music and every possible way, and there's no way to get out because everything that you do is being monitored. So then, how are you ever going to create something for yourself when it's already been taken before you even put it up? And then they'll make sure to pay you pennies on the dollar, unless they can use it for their branding to get a bunch of people together, kind of like they've done with the collective, in order to lead everyone astray or to keep everybody stuck in a trauma bond, and none of us can get out. And then, well, if your job is to do terror readings the rest of your life, well, then what are you dividing or what are you holding? And where are we going? I mean, that's just a philosophical question. If it's all just general. And I don't know how to play these games. I'm too straight.